Welcome to Know and Go podcast series. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that every click you've ever made online, every purchase, every casual browse, even your stroll through the grocery store,
Mm.
all of it has been meticulously compiled, analyzed, and quietly sold.
Sold to thousands of companies you've never even heard of.
Exactly. That's not some dystopian novel. It's the unseen reality we're diving into today.
Ah.
The world of data brokers. Who are they? What exactly do they do with your information, and how do they influence your life in truly surprising ways, often without you, even knowing?
That's a perfect way to put it. We're talking about an industry of immense scale, huge financial value. It's a multi-billion-dollar market that quietly impacts nearly everyone on the planet.
Wow.
So for this deep dive, we've taken your questions and our research to really pull back the curtain on what kind of information these entities collect, how they use it, sometimes even weaponize it, and crucially, what all this means for your personal privacy and the decisions made about you every single day.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Data brokers. For many people listening, it probably sounds like something out of a spy movie, right? Not a thriving industry. What exactly are these entities beyond just a vague concept?
Well, at their core, data brokers are companies, sometimes individuals, who specialize in collecting, processing, and then selling or sharing personal information about people.
Okay.
And the really critical part here, this often happens without your direct knowledge. Definitely without your explicit consent, and certainly without any compensation back to you for the valuable data they're profiting from.
Right, you don't get a check in the mail. And where are they getting all this information? It must be an astonishingly massive undertaking to build these profiles.
It genuinely is. They pull information from an incredibly vast array of sources. Think about public records first.
Their property records.
Exactly. Property ownership, court documents, even your voter registration. Then there's your entire digital footprint. Web tracking, the cookies you pick up browsing.
Social media scraping, too, I assume.
Oh, absolutely. And when we say social media scraping, it's not just what you publicly post. It involves, automated bots sifting through comments, likes, follower lists, even your friends' public profiles to build this huge map of your social network and interests.
Wow.
But it goes further. They also gather data from retail loyalty programs, mobile apps you use, location services from your phone, even info from your credit reports sometimes. It's a really sophisticated, interwoven ecosystem of data collection.
So their entire business model is essentially compiling all this scattered data and then selling it off. Who are the primary buyers of this meticulously gathered information?
The list of buyers is incredibly diverse. It stretches across pretty much every sector. It ranges from advertisers, obviously, wanting to craft those hyper-targeted
That's like
campaigns.
seeing an ad for something you just searched for.
Precisely. Like an ad for baby strollers popping up just after you've searched newborn essentials. But it's also insurance companies doing granular risk assessment, employers conducting background checks, and even governments for various purposes, including sometimes law enforcement.
Okay, that scale you mentioned, the financial scale, it's staggering. And what's particularly concerning about an industry this lucrative is the question of oversight. Are these companies heavily regulated, or is it kind of a Wild West out there?
In many places, it's very much the latter. It's often the Wild West. These companies frequently operate with scant regulation. There's often no legal obligation for them to notify you that your data is being handled this way.
So you're left guessing.
You're left guessing who has your information, how to opt out, if opting out is even really possible. It's often intentionally complex.
That lack of oversight sounds like it inherently carries a significant amount of risk for individuals.
Yeah.
So what are the most common, tangible ways this vulnerability plays out for everyday people?
It absolutely opens the door to serious risks. This environment makes personal information incredibly vulnerable, potentially leading to identity theft, financial fraud, or even denial of credit, housing, or insurance based on inferred data points, things they think they know about you.
Right.
And what's truly chilling here is how governments can sometimes acquire data through these channels, data they might otherwise need a warrant to obtain directly.
So it was like a loophole.
It's more than just a loophole. It fundamentally redefines the boundaries of state surveillance. It allows access to information that traditionally required judicial oversight, effectively sidestepping protections like the Fourth Amendment in the U.S. without a single judge's signature. That's a profound insight into the power dynamic at play.
That definitely raises some serious questions about our digital rights. Okay, let's get more specific then. What kind of information are we actually talking about here? It might seem abstract, but these companies truly quantify almost every behavior or preference you have, don't they?
They really do. If it can be quantified, chances are a data broker is monitoring it and selling it. Some of the most common categories they collect include, well, first, your basic identity and contact information, your full name, any aliases you use, date of birth, phone numbers, email addresses, past addresses, and sometimes even sensitive stuff like social security numbers.
Okay.
Next up, demographics. This covers gender, age, ethnicity, marital status, education level, occupation, and estimated income.
The standard stuff, but still.
Right. Then your entire online behavior. This category is huge. Websites you've visited, your search history, ads you've clicked on, your social media activity, online purchases, even newsletter signups.
Everything you do online, basically.
Pretty much. They also meticulously gather location data. This is derived from your phone's GPS, Wi-Fi signals you connect to, Bluetooth, specific app data, even geotagged photos you post. Think about the routes you take, the places you hang out.
It's kind of creepy.
It can be. Purchasing habits are incredibly valuable to them. Your shopping behavior, brand preferences, loyalty cards you use, subscriptions you have, and even anonymized credit card use patterns.
So they know what you buy, where you shop.
And what you're likely to buy next. They build detailed financial profiles too, based on your credit score, loans, mortgages, property ownership, and public financial records like bankruptcies or liens. And it gets even more personal. Even health signals are collected. Data from fitness trackers, health-related searches you make online, pharmacy purchases, and inferring potential medical conditions you've researched or shown interest in.
So, wait, they combine that, like fitness data and pharmacy stuff.
Exactly. So when they combine your fitness tracker data with your pharmacy purchases and health-related searches, they're not just selling ads for running shoes. They're creating a predictive health risk profile.
Which could affect,
Right.
what, insurance?
It could subtly influence your insurance premiums years down the line, potentially, without you ever knowing the specific data points that led to that decision.
Wow, okay. What else?
They delve into your lifestyle and beliefs. This includes your hobbies, political leanings, religious affiliation, inferred personality traits, and your media consumption habits.
So they think they know your personality.
Based on patterns, yes. And finally, social and professional connections. They try to map out your household members, relatives, friends, coworkers, and your employment history.
Good grief. So it's not just big data, like some abstract concept. It's your data points, meticulously collected to create this incredibly detailed portrait of your life. Every click, every purchase, every movement, building a profile that paints a maybe more accurate picture of you than some of your closest friends might have.
That's a good way to think about it. It's quite unsettling.
So with all this information compiled, what does this actually mean for you, the individual being profiled?
It means that countless organizations are willing to pay top dollar for this data. They use it for everything from those hyper-targeted ads we mentioned to, in some cases, tracking down individuals.
Okay, let's explore some of those key uses with specific examples, because this is where the abstract really becomes concrete, right? How do different organizations leverage this brokered data?
Absolutely. The applications are incredibly varied, and it's important to understand them.
Yeah.
Businesses, for instance, purchase incredibly detailed consumer profiles, think categories like new parents in urban areas or tech-savvy homeowners, which they then use for highly targeted ads, customer acquisition, retention strategies. They basically know what stage of life you're in, what you're likely to buy next.
Makes sense from their perspective, I guess.
Then, insurance companies rely on broker data to assess risk and set premiums. This can be based on inferred behaviors, like your driving habits may be derived from location data, or health risks based on your online searches, or even where you shop.
So if you visit fast food places often.
Or if your location data shows you regularly commute during peak accident hours, they could potentially use that inferred risk to justify a higher premium, even if you've never had an accident. It's a subtle but powerful influence.
Yeah. What about lenders?
Lenders might use brokered data for what's called alternative credit scoring. They rely on information like your shopping habits, your bill payment history, even for things not typically on a standard credit report, especially when traditional credit reports might be insufficient or unavailable.
Okay. And politics.
Political campaigns are huge buyers. They purchase voter data to tailor their messages based on your specific views, past donations, or issues they think you might care about. For example, suburban voters perceived as concerned about education funding might be precisely targeted with school-focused ads.
Trying to push the right buttons.
Exactly. Then there are people search websites. Some data brokers actually run these sites or feed data into them. They allow anyone, often for a small fee, to look up your name, current and past addresses, relatives, phone number.
It's astonishingly easy to find someone that way.
It really is. And as we discussed, governments or law enforcement agencies can purchase data like your location history or financial data, potentially bypassing the need for a warrant.
Right, that warrant point again.
And finally, other data brokers often trade data with one another. It's this continuous cycle. It's a way for them to enrich their own databases, expand their reach, create an even more comprehensive profile of you.
So the data just keeps circulating and getting more detailed.
Precisely. What's truly fascinating or maybe alarming, here is how these seemingly small fragments of data, a quick search for a symptom, the apps you use, the stores you frequent, can be combined and cross-referenced to create a surprisingly detailed and, frankly, predictive portrait of your routines, your preferences, your financial standing, and even your vulnerabilities.
And that's a huge privacy concern for anyone listening. Because even if data isn't directly tied to your name, it's often linked to persistent identifiers, right? Like your IP address or your unique browser fingerprint.
Exactly. That browser fingerprint is a digital signature based on your device's fonts, screen resolution, operating system, even battery levels. Things that can be unique enough to track you across the web, even if you delete your cookies.
Okay, so here's the kicker. Once your personal data is out there and centralized, is there any way to truly regain control? Or is it essentially gone forever?
That's really the core of the problem, isn't it? Once your personal data is exposed and centralized in these broker databases, it can be traded endlessly among these thousands of companies. There's little to no chance of you ever truly regaining complete control over it. And beyond the immediate security risks like identity theft and financial fraud, this lack of transparency is deeply troubling. Most people rarely know what information is being collected about them or how it's being used, and attempts to delete this data, they're often made intentionally complex by design.
They don't make it easy.
Definitely not. Worse still, these detailed profiles can be used to subtly influence decisions that shape your life, going way beyond just personalized ads or targeted political messages. They can be used to manipulate behavior, amplify misinformation, and even silently reinforce bias, exclusion, or discrimination based on inferred characteristics.
Given the sheer scale and the omnipresent reach of this industry, it's worth asking, who are the major players in this data broker world? Because these aren't small, obscure companies we're talking about. They're genuine industry giants.
You're absolutely right, they are. The leaders in this massive industry include names many people might recognize, like Axiom, Experian, and Equifax, often known for credit reporting, but they do much more.
Right. Can you give us a sense of their sheer scale? Like the numbers that truly quantify their reach? It helps paint the picture.
The numbers are genuinely mind-boggling. Take Axiom. It's one of the world's largest data brokers, operating in 36 countries. They process an astonishing 1.2 trillion records every single month.
Trillion. With a T.
With a T. And much of that data is collected directly from individuals. They claim to have data on 2.6 billion individuals globally, each profile using over 10,000 distinct traits or data points.
10,000 traits per person.
Wow. Think about that. 10,000 distinct data points building your digital self. Then there's Experian, a global credit reporting powerhouse that also functions as a major data broker. They're active in 32 countries, have over 200 million users, 150,000 business clients. Their databases use around 5,000 data points and sort users into 2,400 different audience segments.
So you're not just a person, you're a segment.
You're slotted into a segment, yes. And Equifax, another global credit reporting giant, operates in 24 countries. They generate nearly $5 billion in annual revenue and aggregate data on over 800 million individuals and 88 million businesses worldwide. These aren't just companies, they're data empires.
That really puts the scope into perspective. It feels, well, overwhelming to realize how much of our information is out there being traded constantly. So if your data is already out there, is there anything an individual listener can actually do? I mean, you said you can't completely stop data collection by brokers, but you can significantly reduce it, right?
Yes, absolutely. You can take proactive steps to reduce your exposure, and honestly, every single bit helps build back some control.
Okay. What are some practical things people can do?
All right, first, limit what you share consciously. Be very mindful about giving out real details like your full name or actual birth date when signing up for services, especially non-essential ones. And genuinely think twice before filling out those online quizzes, surveys, or sweepstakes forms.
Because those are just data traps.
Often, yes. They're cleverly disguised data collection points. Second, when subscribing to online services, make it a habit to use email aliases. Services exist that let you create unique email addresses that forward to your main inbox.
How does that help?
Well, it protects your primary email address, for one,
Yeah.
but it also helps you identify precisely who might have shared or leaked your alias if you suddenly start getting spam sent to that specific alias. You can then just disable or delete that alias if it becomes compromised.
Smart. Okay, what else?
Next, review your mobile apps regularly. Just go through your phone, remove any apps you don't actively use, and crucially, deny location access and tracking permissions for apps that don't genuinely need them to function. Does that flashlight app really need your location history 24/7?
Probably not. Good point.
Another vital step is to use privacy-first tools whenever you go online. This means using browsers and search engines with built-in tracker blockers, using a virtual private network or VPN to mask your IP address and encrypt your traffic, relying on secure cloud storage that doesn't scan your data for advertising, and using encrypted email for sensitive communications. These tools build a stronger shield around your digital self.
So actively choosing more private options.
Exactly. Finally, you can directly opt out of data brokers. You can go to the websites of major players like Axiom and Experian and request to opt out, though fair warning, it can be a cumbersome process. It's also a good idea to look yourself up on those people search websites and request removal. There are also paid services like Delete Me or Privacy Bee that claim to submit opt-out requests on your behalf across many websites. Their effectiveness can vary just because there are so many brokers, but it's an option.
Okay, so there are definitely steps people can take. It sounds like while these individual actions empower you to take back some control, the real long-term solution probably lies in strong, enforceable regulation of this whole sprawling industry.
That's the general consensus, yes.
Until then, these tools and practices that give you control over your data are truly your best defense.
Absolutely. And that leads us to maybe a final question for you, our listener, to ponder. If data is now widely considered the new oil, what does it truly mean for society when the wells are constantly drilled without your explicit permission? And the product being extracted is, in a very real sense, you. Consider what your detailed data portrait reveals about you and what that might mean for your future opportunities, your choices, your autonomy.
That's a powerful thought to end on. It really reminds us of the profound implications of our digital footprint in today's world. We hope this deep dive has given you a clearer understanding of how pervasive data collection truly is, and maybe highlighted the personal responsibility involved in managing your digital identity in this complex landscape.
It's an ongoing challenge for everyone.
It really is. Thank you for listening to this Know and Go episode.